he couldn't have predicted this. This was classic Wout van Aert.
Yeah. And you say that about him and Mathieu. I've always been I always still see them two as quite equal. I mean, I know Mathieu has elevated himself in the world of the classics and Wout hasn't quite hit that heights yet. But Wout's won a Mont Ventoux. Wout's won a time trial on the Tour. Wout's now won 2 stages on the Champs-Élysées. He's much more versatile rider in some respects. And he also committed a couple of years of his life to be a helper for a GC team in this, which I kind of think hampered his own sort of personal ambition.
All right, everybody, welcome back to The Move, a podcast presented each and every day by Ketone IQ. Last day, boys, I am joined by the man, Sir Bradley Wiggins. And what do we have here? Look down here. The hat finally shows up on Mr. George Hincapie.
Yeah, I was told I had to bring it today, last day, so busted it out.
Man, how's it look? Let me see. I mean, it looks good. Straight out of Scarface, dog. What do you think, Bradley? You like it? Or?
Yeah, I love the Johnny Cash shirt.
He did up the game.
I'll probably wear this tonight for the paella party.
Keep it on all day.
Just to keep you guys
Chamois time.
updated. Yep.
Also joined, as we have been each and every day, by Spencer Martin. And special guest today, Johan Bruyneel will be joining us live via Zoom. So we're obviously talking about stage 21. Incredible performance by Wout van Aert. We're going to get into that. Speaking of special guests, we've had a lot of questions. Who is this French guy? Who is Alain? Who is this guy? He's live and in the flesh. Alain Azizi, here to tell us. Alain, what did we do today?
Today, from Mantes-la-Ville to Paris Champs-Élysées. From Mantes-la-Ville to Paris Champs-Élysées.
C'est pas mal, huh? I mean, look, in giving George a running with the glasses. I mean, the look.
I was actually going to ask him if I could borrow that shirt because I think that would go really well with the cowboy hat. Maybe tonight we'll switch.
He's ready. All right, Alain, you're good. Oh, the professor's coming in now. Look, Alain would have stayed the whole time.
Merci beaucoup.
He's like, wait a minute. I'm the voice of the move. All right, Spencer's coming back in. Johan, we have Johan on the line. Just want to make sure that's all live. And well, there's a lot. I mean, normally there is not a lot to talk about on the final stage into Paris, other than who won the field sprint. But, 50-year anniversary of the Tour coming into Paris to finish on the Champs-Élysées. They decided to mix it up and give a little nod to the Olympic circuit. We weren't sure.
We were not sure.
We were not sure. But I think it's safe to say now that I think we're all sure. Right? Thoughts about, I mean, we'll get into Wout. And I thought that was a bit of a salvage for Visma Lease Bike's tour, just because it was so impressive and incredible. But and he's a beast. But with thoughts on this, on mixing it up?
I thought it was great. I was a big fan of it. Big fan. And if you factor the difficulty of that stage in now to the 3 weeks of racing, it adds a different dimension to it. What I was disappointed about was we weren't exactly sure when they stopped the time for GC, right? Because Jonas rolled in some 10-15 minutes down, and Lipovic as well. And it was made worse by the fact that Tadej was in the front and dictating the race.
Racing.
And I think it would have thrown a different, whole new set of problems in had it been GC on the line, like it would have any other bike race. But I was a big fan of it.
Yep.
Just disappointed how it nullified the GC battle, where there could have been some gains and some losses.
Well, there are those two factors, right? There's where they take the time, which whether or not that which leads to kind of my second factor was the weather, right? The weather was wet and raining. I don't know if the decision to change the time was due to the rain, but do that stage dry. Yeah, you should probably. You made a great point. Like nobody stopped the time at the bottom of the Ventoux or La Plagne, right? So
that said, we have seen GC neutralized for rain, especially. I don't think I remember the last time I've seen so much rain on the Champs-Élysées. It's super slick. You don't want to see one of these guys in the top 3 go down because of the rain. I was hating on the course, the change, from the historic Champs-Élysées sprinter stage to today's. But man, watching it as a fan, that was super exciting. Last stage of the Tour de France.
Spencer?
Well, if it was raining yesterday, what if one of these guys crashes yesterday?
I mean, you could say about every day, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Why not just stop Paris-Roubaix at Arenberg?
Yeah. So I do worry about I wish it was live time. Other than that, no notes. Amazing. You got to keep it in, right? Yeah. Like Wout van Aert going against not the two best, but two of the three best classics riders in the world going head to head on that circuit, which I was telling Bradley, like sometimes the Champs-Élysées can feel sterile because everyone's pushed out. It's just a large, like almost like a militaristic road. So it was very cool to see them snaking through actual neighborhoods with the crowd on top of them.
Yeah, well, it was anything but wide.
Yeah, arguably one of the most iconic stages of the Tour de France. The amount of people, the course, how technical it was, how hard it was. I thought it was super
And the
fun.
museum, they went past at the top.
Yeah. I had to correct Sir Bradley on that. Johan, thoughts on this change of the final day in Paris?
The same. I mean, initially I wasn't a fan of it. Having seen it now, I love it. It was great.
Yeah.
And we've been there. I mean, the picture I have behind, Lance, we have a picture, you and I, with that.
Yep. We were, Johan and I was in Paris visiting my son who was in culinary school, and Johan came up to visit, and this was well before the Olympics, and we said, we should go check this thing out and do a preview of the Olympic course. I'd never been up to Montmartre, ever, right? All these times in Paris. Isn't that weird? It was cool. Look, I'll give it 2 thumbs up. I'm totally down with the change. We'll get into Wout's performance and a lot of other things. And stay tuned to the second half of the show too, where I think going to have some fun just talking about it. And I cannot wait to hear Johan's impressions, just overall impressions of this 2025 tour. So be ready. George would like to go first. I'm letting you go first, George. Today's show brought to you by Zwift, who recently rolled out its new Cog and Click product. You can use almost any bike that you own, even when you buy from some random store. Still feels like you're on a top-end smart trainer. Zwift Ready trainers are available from all top manufacturers like Wahoo, Garmin, Elite, Jet Black, Decathlon, setting a new benchmark for indoor training. All Zwift Ready trainers come with the new Zwift Cog and Click installed, making them, it's been 3 weeks, making them ready to ride from the box. No extras needed. So simple and no need to remove your cassette. Zwift Ready trainers start at just $299. Boom. Also, too, your outdoor rides count for your Zwift fitness score. All you got to do is pair up the companion app and you get credit and elevate your score, right? Roca, our good friends down in Austin, Texas, my hometown. By the way, the shades are hand built to suit. Johan? That had to be Johan. Hand built down in Austin, Texas. They've completely reinvented the category of eyewear. Unbelievably lightweight, the best optics on the market, hands down. Nothing else compares. They never slip, no matter how sweaty you get. Also providing shades to the special forces here in the United States. The Move listeners get 20% off. Just go to Roca, R-O-K-A, Roca.com. Enter the code THEMOVE at checkout. Maybe we should get Roca to make some of those Alain glasses. What y'all think? You couldn't pull those off.
I think I could.
I actually agree.
There he is.
Oh, he's back. Oh no! I'm telling you, he is the gift, folks. He's the gift that keeps on giving. And timeline. As someone who's trained hard most of my life, I've learned that real performance doesn't just come from the gym. It starts at the cellular level. That's why I take MitoPure by Timeline. It's a supplement that supports cellular energy by helping your body renew its mitochondria. Those tiny powerhouses inside your cells that start to slow down as you age. Johan. The science is strong. MitoPure is clinically shown. It's clinically shown to improve muscle strength in just a few months. I personally love the zero sugar gummies. I take them daily. Simple, clean, easy to use. Head on over to timeline.com/themove to get started. You'll get 20% off as a listener of the show. That's timeline.com/themove. Wout van Aert. You know, the guy, he's had a rough couple years. I mean, he came into the sport. I mean, when I think about him and I think about Mathieu van der Poel, there was a minute, and we had this debate on the show years ago. They were kind of right there, and then obviously Van der Poel has pulled ahead there, and Wout's had some bad crashes, some surgeries. You saw how emotional he was this year winning that stage in the Giro. He couldn't have predicted this. This was classic Wout van Aert.
Yeah. And you say that about him and Mathieu. I've always been I always still see them two as quite equal. I mean, I know Mathieu has elevated himself in the world of the classics, and Wout hasn't quite hit that heights yet. But Wout's won a Mont Ventoux. Wout's won a time trial on the Tour. Wout's now won 2 stages on the Champs-Élysées. He's much more versatile rider in some respects. And he also committed a couple of years of his life to be a helper for a GC team in this, which I kind of think hampered his own sort of personal ambition.
Well, he basically won the Giro d'Italia for Visma this year.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about the guy like he's a bum. He's won more time. He's won as many times in the Champs-Élysées as Mathieu Van der Poel has won Tour de France stages total.
I wouldn't say we're talking about him like a bum, but not only did he help the team win the Giro, he won one of the hardest stages in the Giro, most iconic stage of the Giro.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, arguably, Mathieu Van der Poel crushed the first part of the Tour de France within the yellow jersey, won a stage, but nobody's really remembering that. I mean, Wout won the hardest, I mean, the most iconic technical stage of the Tour de France in Paris. What a way to finish it off. 10 Tour de France stage wins, which, I mean, I didn't even know that until they said it on TV.
He's won stages in the last 3 Grand Tours.
Never gives up. I mean, look what happened to him in the Vuelta last year. He was on a roll, winning everything, like fingers in the nose, crashes out for the rest of the year, comes back, does an amazing classic season, albeit doesn't get a win until the Giro. And then, I mean, yesterday, he even said in his interview, he had a crappy legs yesterday, couldn't even make the breakaway, but he never gives up. And today wins the stage. So fun to watch.
And I think most importantly, he did something today that nobody was able to do for 3 weeks. And that's drop Tadej Pogačar.
3 weeks or 2 years.
Well, but let's just focus on
Well,
this
it's funny because we were watching and we're like, hold on to his wheel, hold on to his wheel. And not only did he hold on to his wheel, he popped him and dropped him right at the top. So, I mean, he was super confident. Matteo Jorgensen was up there softening Tadej's legs up, taking him off the back a bit, doing some attacks. I mean, that's the only way you're going to beat this guy is you have to soften him up. And they came in with the plan today, and although we criticized their tactics throughout the Tour de France, today was
magic.
Like magic.
Yeah. He's done 4 Grand Tours in the last 13 months as well. Well, since last year's Tour de France.
He would have won the mountains and the points classification at the Vuelta last year had he not crashed. Yeah. Not too shabby.
He's the boy. He's a boomstick today.
Boomstick.
He is?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's for you, well, personally signed.
Where do you guys rank this victory amongst Wout van Aert Tour de France victories? Is this the most iconic, or is it still Ventoux?
Man, I'm going to go with today just because of the rain,
I'm with
the
you.
people coming onto the Champs-Élysées solo. How many times in the history of cycling have we seen somebody roll onto the Champs-Élysées solo for the win? Bradley, you can help
Well, the
me.
last time was Vinokurov, wasn't it? In
Vinokurov.
2005 when he attacked in the final.
Yeah.
Well, there was,
I was there, though.
before that, it was Eddie Seigneur in 94.
Yeah, but it's very rare that it happens.
Yeah, very rare.
Do you guys know how many active riders that have more tour stage wins than Wout van Aert?
Nope.
Well,
Tadej.
one would be Tadej.
Right.
And then I think the only other one that is even equal to him is Philipsen, has 10. Yeah, and then it's Wout with 10. It's very rare to have 10 tour victories and be an active rider.
Yeah.
I think you have to consider it all, right? The curiosity about this new format of this stage, the weather. Yeah, as you just said, 4 Grand Tours in the last 13 months.
Yeah.
The injuries, the crashes, the comeback. Like, if you put all that together, I mean, this is bigger than. Look, we watched him win on Ventoux. I didn't feel then what I felt today. Right? I mean, it was incredible. It was incredible. It was a boss move.
Also a testament to how Tour de France, how hard it actually was this year. In the last 2 stages, which are typically breakaway stages, were solo victories. I mean, people are just on their deathbeds right now. Just trying to, a lot of them, I'd say the majority of the peloton is just crawling to the finish line, happy it's over.
Speaking of this stage, Johan, and you probably have a better line on this than we do over here in the US, but overall, what do you think today's, and I'm talking about today's peloton that was there today in the race, what do you think their impression of this stage was?
Well, I think it changed a lot with the weather, right? I mean, you have this stage in the dry conditions, and it would have been different. I think, as we thought initially, I've heard the majority of the riders were not a fan. I think they're going to change their mind, especially racing through those crowds. I mean, for me, one of the takeaways of today's stage is also a part of the amazing performance of Wout is to really see the difference in which kind of riders Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
You know, I mean, Tadej was in there and he wanted to win this stage in yellow. And he was close. And the other GC riders just said, okay, you know what, no risks. I mean, because Tadej took risks.
Yeah, but Johan, I could see that, but they probably know they didn't have very much of a chance to win the actual stage. So Pogačar had a great chance to win, probably wanted to win in the yellow jersey. I can see the differences in motivation. I think if we were in similar positions with zero chance of winning the stage and you didn't have to worry about the time cut, you'd probably sit. I mean, I think we'd all be like, all right, I'm just going to chill into the finish line.
Okay, well, there's that consideration. That's totally fair. Like if you don't want to take any risks and the time has stopped, then it's well within your rights to do that. I think what Johan's saying, and as we were watching, I know what Sir Bradley was saying was just as Tadej Pogačar, what was he doing? Yes, he wanted to win the stage, but most importantly, he was honoring his position in the race, which the position he has right now gives him a yellow jersey. He is honoring that position.
Yeah.
Second place is also a damn good result.
I agree.
So I think what I'm hearing is you also should honor that position as well. Same goes for Florian Lipowitz, and honor it, right? I think that's the gripe.
That would have been the best thing to do. And also, he was riding around today, keeping Tadej's polka dot jersey warm. So not only was he 10 minutes down, he was riding around in Tadej's other jersey that he won in this race. You know, while his two teammates are in the front that have been riding balls deep for him for 3 weeks now.
Well,
And Campernauts, 3 teammates.
Yeah, 3 teammates.
He did a big job
And
today.
he's, you know what I mean?
and how do you feel if you're Visma and you finish and then you're like waiting for your
team,
leader?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they can take any negatives out of today. I mean, winning that stage, 2 stages in the Tour de France. Obviously, they wanted to win the yellow jersey, but they got to go home with their heads held high, I believe.
Yeah, but we might pick that up.
Would Wout not have appreciated a little bit of help? I mean, he wins, that's awesome, but it's like they had another rider physically capable of being up there helping him.
Personally, Spencer, I think on today's course, and especially with these weather conditions, this is not a course for Jonas. I think.
Yeah.
Well, we
Well,
all agree with that.
Yeah, but you could say that about any stage, about any rider in the Tour de France. That's why the Tour de France is so difficult, and that's why it's so difficult to get up there and win it and be on the podium. It's because you have to do 21 days. You don't do 21 and a half stages or 20 and a half stages.
Real quick before we go to break for our friends
Bradley's
over-
getting spiced up over
spicy.
there.
No, look, you know,
in fact, I might wait. I might have to save it.
If our viewers don't remember, he did lead out Mark Cavendish
Exactly.
in the
No,
yellow jersey.
and-
of the
and-
That's what I'm talking about.
For the
And it
stage
took
play.
him 3 weeks to get warmed up to do that.
What I'm talking about.
And it's taken him 3 weeks. You should hear him.
And motherfucker, should right there.
You should hear him when the cameras aren't here, folks.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll be back in 2 and 32. All right. And we're back. And as we were at break there, we just couldn't help ourselves. We kept talking about this new, and some would say, most would say, improved finish here in Paris and on the Champs-Élysées. The debate here at the desk was just continued on about the time stoppage, and we also didn't know. So I think the professor here had an interesting stat for us that
Triggering stat.
that got Mr. Wiggins really lit up. But Florian Lipowitz actually gained 9 seconds on Tadej Pogačar as he was off the front. So it sounds like the stoppage of time was the first time through the start-finish line on the Champs-Élysées before even climbing Montmartre. My point was that in many ways this was an experiment for ASO. This was let's try this, right? And with experiments, you test and you check it out and you make corrections. And we're not the only people that sit here and say feels like everybody should have to race to the finish line. So I'm assuming they'll continue. I think they're going to get a lot of positive feedback on the actual circuit, and they'll probably get some negative feedback that there's been stoppages of time.
Yeah, I mean, if it is a test, then but you don't test at the Tour de France, and I think that's all very well. And from their test today, what they're going to do next year, say, okay, it's too dangerous for GC guys after 3 weeks of racing, so the GC stops every time we come through, and then whoever wants to race can race. But Tadej has put a cat amongst the pigeons doing that by being in the front because he was willing to risk all, and
He totally was. I mean,
and he wasn't planning on going across the finish line the first time and GC stopping, and that's it. So Lipovic gained 9 seconds on him and then finished an hour down on the stage.
I think the way Tadej came into it was, you know what, I'm going to go as hard as I
Exactly.
can up the first time up.
Exactly.
see what
Split
happens.
it up, and then you're not really risking anymore. When you're with 4, 5, 6 guys, it's a lot safer, obviously.
If you think about it, or like the Giro d'Italia, the Finestra, it's a big gravel climb. Why not neutralize that? That's not good for everybody.
Yeah.
Richard Carapaz struggled on that, so let's neutralize it.
Any other bike race in the calendar, you would race to the line. If that was a Tour Catalunya, if that was 4 days of Dunkirk, it's all
Grove.
part of the bike racing. Tour of Missouri, Tour of Georgia, Tour of Japan.
We spent a lot of time these 3 weeks talking about our homeboy Quinn Simmons. It's seemingly been on the front of the bike race 50% of the time, right? He's just been. Every day I was watching him, like, how is this guy still on the front or going in breaks or pulling for the team? Like, this dude's got endless energy. Well, clearly, he didn't spend enough time at the front of the race or in the breakaways. He didn't. I mean, he clearly has more energy, right? And just have a look at this picture, right? And I'll tell you, I mean, let's just. I thought the picture was bigger. We snipped it a little bit. I mean, homegirl's way up in the air.
I mean, without any context, that looks quite. That looks could be a different news story. That
Getting engaged on the Champs-Élysées.
oh, that's what happened. Was it? Okay.
So congratulations to Quinn Simmons and his, I don't know her name, but his new fiance. That's
Jennifer.
we don't know, but that's it was better on TV but he's grabbing it. I mean, come on, man. She should be carrying him. There we go, a little bigger. Oh, she got the cowboy boots on. He's still wearing his cleats on cobblestones.
Yeah. The rate that was 3 laps to go.
And
That's when they stopped the clock.
And apparently he said he had that plan since December. So
He did. He said
cool
that.
Story. Yeah.
He said he started planning it when he was on the long list
Yeah.
to be selected for the tour, because I didn't think he got sort of told.
No, he was like
He was
a
on the
late,
short list until.
which may be extra motivation. Maybe that's why he was flying in May and June, because he needed to get to the tour.
I thought he rode a hell of a race. I thought most of the Americans, all the Americans finished.
Yeah.
I thought we did well.
I agree.
I mean, Matteo was key
Matteo.
to the final stage win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mateo's, yeah. Anyways. We're not going to talk about the Lantern Rouge. It's up on the board. Or are we? No, we're not. We're not talking about that.
Should we just say their name?
Yeah.
I forgot it. Some Cerrone Caroni or something.
Consoni.
It's close. Simone Consoni.
Okay. There you go, Simone.
Which team is that?
Simone,
Little Trek.
Trick.
A little Trek got they had the Lantern Rouge locked up. They got last and second to last.
Yeah.
But they finished.
Yeah.
Caroni Cerrone. You got mentioned on the move, buddy.
He's no pancake.
There's,
Nobody
there's not many
that-
better feeling in cycling, but rolling across the Champs-Élysées, whether you're in first, protecting the yellow jersey, or leading out your teammate for the stage win, or just getting across the line knowing that you risked your life for 3 weeks and you made it safely.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, it because you had some guys coming across the finish line today, 10, 15, 20 minutes down. I think we all know, and Johan, you're here too. You know what it's like to roll in with basically the whole peloton.
Yeah.
I would have to imagine that does feel different.
Yeah.
Right. You've seen the guy who is winning, that you can see him. He's right there. He's winning on the Champs-Élysées, and you're just sort of getting sucked through.
Yeah.
I would think that does feel different.
Yeah, I agree.
There used to be, it was quite lucrative to finish last in the Tour de France. You'd get start money at the criteriums afterwards.
Really?
As the Lantern Rouge. You were a bit of a folk hero.
I think I remember years where they actually did track stands between one or two guys in the Champs to see who can get to the
Well, they were doing that
finish
today.
line
Last. Yeah. There's an element of that today.
As I said at the top of the show, presented by Ketone IQ. They've been great partners, and they've also, in many ways, changed not just cycling, but changed a lot of endurance sports. Now changing impact sports like MMA, doing a lot of work with John Jones, other folks like that. Two options, right? You got the classic ketone shot, and now you got Ketone IQ with caffeine, a little less ketones, 100 milligrams of caffeine, plus a whole slew of new flavors and options there. And the science doesn't lie, right? A boost of all these powers, sprint power, peak power, et cetera, et cetera. Those numbers don't lie. Also improved blood flow, higher muscle oxygenation, et cetera, et cetera. Take your shot. Get 20% off your order at ketone.com/themove. That's ketone.com/themove. And also, last one, Bubs Naturals. You guys know the deal, right? All of us up here at this desk have put our bodies through a lot over the years. Decades of racing, training, even crashing. Yep, there's no shortage of wear and tear. So when we find something that actually helps us feel better day to day, we pay attention. We've been using Bubs Naturals collagen peptides for a few months now. Just scoop it into the coffee. Gotta say, feel the difference. Knees don't ache. And yes, my hair, even though I've had enough of the hate, I have it covered up today. My hair is even growing faster. Even my beard. I mean, I shaved not that many days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's built, this is the coolest thing. It's built to honor Glenn Bub Doherty, a Navy SEAL and American hero who laid down his life in Benghazi. He stood for self-improvement and helping others, which is baked into everything Bubs does. They even donate 10% of profits to charity in his honor. Love the tagline, die young, as late as possible. Yeah. Head on over to Bubs Naturals, B-U-B-S, bubsnaturals.com. Use the code THEMOVE for 20% off your first order, or sign up for a subscription and get a welcome kit worth over $100.
Do you know who else was a Navy SEAL?
Lucy's dad.
Jesse Ventura. He was a Navy SEAL.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like in the early stages of the
He
program.
lives in the Baja now.
Oh my God.
I hope he does. Yeah. Let me tell you something. If I was Jesse Ventura,
How are the restrictions there?
I would live in Baja too.
Building restrictions. You can build as high as you like.
Let's, as we sort of get to the end of this, it's been a fun tour.
Yeah.
It's been fun, Mr. Bradley. Been fun to have you sitting here. We got you for a little bit last year.
Yeah.
Nice to have you the whole time. I hope you enjoyed it. Nice to have.
Best job in the world.
You can go on Glassdoor if you don't mind, just making some comments about the workplace environment here at We Do. You know, they have this guy. This Lance guy eats all the cinnamon rolls, treats people like shit.
Very protective over those cinnamon rolls.
Don't touch my cinnamon rolls. And don't cut them with a fork.
I know. I took a little chunk the other day. You got all mad.
You rock up. You destroyed all the icing.
Block the toilet.
I did
Clog the toilet. You have Cav's number, right?
Yeah.
Cav's ready.
He could be.
Eesh.
We might need a booster seat for him, but
Wow. It's been a long tour. By the way, too, while I got you, Tour de France Femme avec Zwift started yesterday. Had stage 2 early this morning. I was sitting in this seat somewhere right around 7:30 this morning. I got another week to go. Sorry, it's kicked off. It's been exciting.
been good. I watched it.
It is. I got texts from people saying, wow, this is more exciting than what have we been watching lately. And in many ways it can be. So tune into that show if you can. I just want to go around the horn and just get overall impressions of this 2025 tour. You say whether it's the format, the players, the sport in general. George, I know you want to kick us off, so I'm going to let you have at it. But just high level impressions of this tour.
Well, another exciting Tour de France. I mean, we can't really imagine a non-exciting Tour de France, albeit the race was pretty much over 10 days in with Tadej establishing his dominance once again. But I was speaking with Spencer earlier before the show, and it's essentially they've gone to head 4 times, and Jonas has won twice, Tadej's won twice.
Yeah, we're disqualifying the first.
Yeah, we're disqualifying. The first one, he kind of just rolled into that leadership position when Roglic went away. So in my mind, there's still hopes for some epic battles in the years to come. I also loved the battle for the podium with perhaps these new emerging superstars of cyclists, Oscar Onley and Florian Lipowitz, who I think they'll be talked in the same breath as Remco Evenepoel in the next few years. Perhaps, can win the Tour de France in 3, 4, 5 years. We never know.
Right.
Speaking of Quinn Simmons, in my opinion, most aggressive rider of the Tour de France. I know he didn't get on the podium, but watching the American muscle make the hardest breakaways.
No, we saw it.
We saw it.
We just saw a picture of it.
Breakaways of the race. Always there, always representing. Even today, he was away. I love seeing that. Matteo Jorgensen was in the breakaway final move today. In my opinion, a Tour de France podium contender as well. He had a couple bad days due to illness, I believe, but this is America's new hope for the podium of the Tour de France. Loved watching that.
I should have warned George there's a cap on time.
I know.
Here.
Okay, so I'm done.
It's
I
like
wanted
the
to shout out.
Grammys.
I wanted to shout out
like
the
the
Americans.
Should we start turning up the music slowly? Last thing.
That's why I wanted to go first. But no, lastly, just shout out to all the Americans that finished the race, all 5 of them. We were well represented in this Tour de France and cannot wait till 2026.
Yeah. Johan, overall thoughts, 2025 tour.
I'm going to disagree with George about
Always. We expect that.
But just before you say anything, Johan, for the listener or the viewer at home or wherever you are, these boys have been disagreeing for a long time, so this is nothing new. Don't get worried. Okay, fire away, Johan.
I disagree with the fact that it's 2 against 2. I think 2 years, Jonas, 2 years. I think the difference is huge right now with this Tadej Pogačar. I can't see right now how Jonas can get close if Tadej remains on this level.
That's right.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
And then one thing that I think we seem to forget is that just imagine, guys, if João Almeida wouldn't have crashed out, and if João Almeida was on UAE, I think these last few mountain stages would have been very, very different. Because now basically it was Tadej leading out Jonas, and of course he couldn't attack. With a full fit João Almeida, I think the difference would still have been bigger.
Okay, Bradley.
I mean, the second half of this tour I thought was a bit of an anticlimax from a GC's perspective. The race was essentially over after the mountain time trial. And, the nature of the route, it was weighted towards the first half of this race with the danger that we all spoke about riding through northern France and the potential time gaps and the time losses you could have there that would be decisive in the Tour de France later on in the race. But we saw some exciting stages nonetheless. I think this Tadej Pogačar is on another level to everybody else, and it's more a question of when he chooses to leave the sport as to when we'll see the next Tour de France winner from another nation. So it's and then the void I think he'll leave in the sport when he does go. He's set the benchmark now in so many other ways, so many different ways, training, the way he races, the way he is with the press and the media, and it's going to be a difficult void to fill. We were talking earlier, when's the next French winner going to come from the sport? You can't see anyone down there. Vauquelin's miles away from ever being on a level of to win the Tour. But so I fear for the sport in the sense of 5 or 6 years' time when Tadej decides to leave as to who's going to replace him. And it was very similar in basketball when Jordan left. We were talking about that the other day. So all in all, it was okay. It was all right to watch. Lance, what was your take?
Well, I'm going to let Spencer fire right quick. And then, unfortunately, I get to go last and probably repeat a lot about
I should say
what I just heard.
We're a little down in the French. There's 2 nationalities that got 2 riders in the top 10. Can you guys name them?
Austrian,
Slovenian, and France.
Yeah, so not too bad from France. Actually, quietly impressive. My takeaway.
How far down was he though?
Well, we don't talk about that.
No, we do. It's an important point.
Vauquelin is 22 and a half
exactly
minutes down.
That's my point.
There might be a French rider that is good in the future. We won't mention him because he's not in the Tour. But my takeaway is if you're a GC rider and you have a 3 at the beginning of your age, call your agent and extend your contract as long as you can because you're going to be extinct soon.
Yeah.
Because there's one rider over the age of 30 in this top 10, and it's Primož Roglič, and he was 25 minutes down. Like that's not boding well for the future of GC riders aged 30 or older. And so I think it's like a tour of, I think we just saw a lot of change. Like think of before coming in, you'd be like, oh, dark horse, the Yates brothers. And it's just felt like we watched even from the Giro to the Tour, we watched the sport kind of mature. I would also say I'm a little worried about, like think when Tadej won in 2020, came out of nowhere, not really nowhere, but kind of nowhere,
sure.
Is like a 21-year-old, 20-year-old, and he beats Roglič. Well, during this tour, there's 3 UAE riders, all older than Tadej was when he won the Tour. Igor Arrieta, Isaac Del Toro, Antonio Morgado. They go 1, 2, 3 in a small race in Spain. I just worry, like, what if Pogačar was on Visma and Visma's like, well, let's not send him to the Tour because we have Roglič, and we never see the rise of Tadej. Like, is UAE collecting all these riders, then suppressing the rise of the next great rider? That's my big concern.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I'll go last. Look, I'll first talk about the route. I thought, and I want to give a lot of credit to ASO. I thought, and I've said this many, many times, it is their race. It is their right to pick and choose whatever route they want to do. I got to say, I thought the route was exceptional. The first week, which typically can be a snooze fest, was dynamic, was exciting. We were interested in that. All the way to the finish, right? Mixing it up here in Paris. This was a risky move, right? I give them a lot of credit And whoever's decision that was over there to do that, I give them a lot of credit. And then all the way in the middle, you have things, obviously Ventoux, near and dear to my heart. It's a place that I feel like the Tour should go more often than it doesn't. So route-wise, I give it really, really solid marks. When it comes to the competition, the way that I would sum up Tadej Pogačar is Tadej is not, he's not a generational talent, right? He is a historical talent. Right. So you have to consider, forget this generation. We can talk about all these names and talk about who might be coming. Forget it. You have to talk about him in the context and with regards to the history of the sport. He is historical. We are seeing him you saw it all the way up until today, right? And that's today's performance of his was almost more mental and more an issue of just honor that we've just not. You'd have to go back to Hinault and Merckx and look. I know what I would have done on that stage. It wouldn't have been popular with Sir Bradley. I would have been like, they stopped the time? Cool. I'm not taking any risks. I would have done that, right? And I watch him. This kid he will go down as the greatest of all time. And you feel for all the guys that have to come up against him, it is not close. And part and parcel to that is the race can be underwhelming, right? To your point, Sir Bradley. Last thing I'll say, and there's been there's been some nods to this in y'all's comments. To me, as I watch this, and I touched on this a couple of days ago, this sport, forget the refresh you were discussing, this sport needs a refresh. We have to reimagine. We have to reinvent this sport. This is not a sustainable model, in my opinion. Right. And would it be different if you had 5 guys duking it out? Imagine if you had 5 guys coming into to the last half week that were close that could compete and there was attacks everywhere. And then you finish here in Paris with this stage. Yeah, that's a lot more exciting. But the foundation and the structure of this sport needs to be blown up and rebuilt. I said that the other day and I mean it, and I'm going to say it again today. That's my takeaway. But overall, I mean, I give it probably higher marks than you, right? I thought it was, I was fairly amused.
I'd just like to add one thing, Lance, about Pogačar, and I want to ask you and Bradley what you have experienced. I think one of the things we have to consider with Pogačar is it's not when he's going to retire. To me, it looks like, I mean, especially the last week, is about the motivation.
Yeah.
He seemed bored to me. He seemed annoyed. He was fed up with the press. And you guys, both of you guys know how difficult that is. So this could be a factor that actually influences his future.
Well,
what do you guys think? I mean,
listen, Johan, you're in Madrid. When we watched Tadej Pogačar's final interview, I said to you guys, I said, this kid is I didn't say bored. I said he's subdued. Right? That was not what I expected. And I have been the guy who's won the Tour de France a lot of times and beat people by 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. It's not that fun. I got to be honest. And it's not that you need other challenges, but after a while, when I saw him today, I thought, wow, that is muted and subdued. I'm totally with you, Johan.
He was waiting on the finish line for his team to finish, and Adam Yates was there. And he said to Adam, they said, we'll wait 5 more minutes before we get changed and stuff, because they were waiting for their team to come in to celebrate. He was had been there for 10 minutes already. He turned to his carer, who was stood there with the towels on. He goes, how was your day? which I thought was incredible. And the cameras picked it up and the sound picked it up. But, I mean, that's not the normal, normally it's, the joy that comes on the Champs-Élysées when you finish and you cross the line. Yeah. Today was just like, I agree with you. I think he is subdued.
And right before we came on air, I don't know if we can feel it's accurate, but you read a snippet in the press that Tadej had alluded to potentially riding through LA 28 and retiring there.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is I'm reading a French snippet from L'Equipe, and he just says, I don't know how much I'll go on. I don't know how much longer I'll go on. The LA Olympics are one of my goals. They're 3 years from now. After that, I might start thinking about retirement. But Johan, is it possible? Am I remembering like Tom Boonen retired from the Tour but kept racing? Do you guys remember this? He got in a spat with ASO and just stopped showing up to the Tour. Did we ever see that?
Yeah, that's not. Tom Boonen was not a Tour de France rider.
No, nobody cares.
It's not the same.
They didn't care about that.
I mean, seeing Tadej at this tour, I was kind of wondering if he, like 2 years from now, if he's like, "Hey, Joao, you go win the tour."
I mean, look, I didn't know. I don't know where you pulled that. I didn't know where you pulled that quote from. You're pulling that from L'Équipe. That's the paper of record for the Tour de France and for sports in France. That's pretty solid outlet. I heard it loud and clear.
I mean, what if I asked you, I run up to you 2004 on the Champs-Élysées, would you be more likely to be thinking about retirement? Or like when you're done with the tour, are you like, I'm done with this, I'm never coming back? Or are you like excited to come back already when you're finishing?
No, I knew when I was, I knew when I had penciled in the calendar of my final year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was fine to come back. And yeah, it is more exciting when you duke it out. But no, I didn't. One of the images that will stick with me is that final interview. I was like, man, what's up?
Yeah.
And by the way, I've been in that seat and probably had this sort of same subdued, muted response. And you want some energy, you want some excitement. And I'm sitting there saying, look, all right, well, you guys paid me to win. I wanted to win. I ran the process to win. And now I've won. And now I am leaving. Right. I'm going to go back to my friends and family. And I cannot wait to start running this process again. If his brain is even remotely thinking that, I would tell you that is not. Look, I have a lot of regrets in my career, but if there was one included in all that I could go back and change, is savor that moment. And so I feel for him. I do.
Yeah, I could see them, like you guys, finishing the tour, 3 weeks of just mass attention under the microscope. Media, suffering on the bike 6 hours a day. You're just kind of looking forward to going home and being quiet around your significant others and your family, and just staying out of the constant spotlight. We have hundreds of people waiting for you outside the bus. I mean,
or shooting off to the Olympics to win Olympic gold.
Yeah, or doing that what you did.
I just realized we can't end our 3 week coverage of the Tour de France like that.
I feel bad for the guy who won.
If anybody has a picture of Tadej Pogačar, like shirt off, spraying champagne,
that's what we need.
Lighting something up, whatever. Please send it because...
Well, we might see them later. What's the nightclub everyone goes to in Paris on the last night?
Oh, boy.
I forgot.
I do need to just, real quick, last one of the tour, Ventum Daily Trivia. The question was the years that Cavendish won on the Champs-Élysées. That was 2009. Wow, check this out. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Jeez.
Wow. And also, the grand prize winner this year, Brian Regan from Framingham, Massachusetts. He played 11 of the total 20 stages, but it was his correct answer on stage 14 that ended up sealing the deal.
Wow.
Brian Regan from Framingham, Massachusetts gets himself a new Ventum.
Congratulations, Brian.
Johan, before we cut you loose, anything?
I think we've covered it all. I think you guys forgot to mention also about Quinn Simmons. He got the award of the best teammate.
Great. Yeah. Love it.
So not the most aggressive, that was given to Ben Healy, but Quinn Simmons has received the award of the best teammate of the Tour de France. I think that's worth mentioning.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and you can't argue with Ben Healy. I mean, he was. I know we have we're partial to the Americans. Ben Healy was.
Agreed.
Stage win, 2 stage wins.
2 days in yellow.
1 stage win.
1 stage.
Almost won on one. So stage win, day in yellow. Tried every single day. I'm not arguing against that for most aggressive rider. Great. Well, that I know that what happened at the end there. I felt like a little.
Well, I'm looking at Pogačar is 26 years old. There's only 5 riders that have ever won more tours than him in history, and he's 26.
Yeah,
like that's kind of incredible. Yeah. When we're already retiring him. Trying to figure out where he's going to go.
Look, this is a different sport.
Yeah,
right? You forget looking at the ages. And you said it best. If you're if you even remotely think you're a top 10 GC rider and your age starts with a 3, just go over there and say, hey, give me as much as you can get contract wise, because
they call that the Roglic.
I think a lot of these guys are happy if they make it till they're 30 years old. Because it's the intensity now in the training and the measuring your food constantly, it is a completely different ball game, and I don't imagine many riders going past 30 years old.
Well, on that, I'll give a special mention to Geraint Thomas's last tour today.
Right.
Thank you for that.
40 years of age. It's his 14th tour. He won 8 years ago now.
Surprised they didn't let him roll in.
First tour in 2007.
They let Tadej and UAE roll in into Paris.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting / hoping for a little tip of the cap to Geraint Thomas, but yes, that's an important shout out. He's smart. He's got, I don't know. He seems clever.
He'd go down as, I think, with him and Cav, our greatest ever cyclist in the UK. With what they've achieved. I mean, he's been
saying a lot coming from you.
Yeah, but he's been on every step of the podium at the Tour de France, second in the Giro, double Olympic champion. He's been epic, I have to say.
2007. I was just graduating high school, and Geraint Thomas doing the tour.
All right,
Unreal.
Last thing before I go. Yes. This is. I knew I was forgetting something. I want to take just a second. Stick with me. I want to thank everybody here on the team, and I'll just start right here. So Bradley, thank you so much. George Hincapie, thank you, George. George, you and me be doing this since 1989. We've been running this back.
That's right.
That's a long time. Spencer, thank you so much. Johan, if you're still there, thank you. Ketone IQ, all our sponsors, thank you. Peacock, hey, been cool. Thanks for having us. And there's a lot of people behind these curtains and around this room you can't see. Dave Bolch, another person. We've been running this play for 30 plus years. Liz Crute sitting down here right in front, another person. We've been running this play 30 plus years. Gabrielle, my very favorite Costa Rican, he's back there somewhere. Elise, thank you. Ashish Patel, I don't think Ashish is here today. Lars, all the sales, amazing. Colton, or as George says, Coltland, thank you. Lucy Hall, thank you. Alana Zizi, of course, we saw him earlier. John Rader, everybody at Virality Social Media Agency. And our host down here in the basement, right below Aspen Mountain Fitness, Mark Kiernan. Amazing man that has let us crash his basement for the last few years. So I think I covered everybody. Did I miss anybody? No.
Nope.
All right. Thanks to you all. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. It's been fun. We'll see y'all next year.
See you next year.
Bye.